In this video I'm going to give you some superior alternatives to stimulants. Things like coffee, guarana, cola nuts, and all of these things that people are using because they're low on energy, because they're needing a pickup. So typically all of these things have side effects, they have mildly addictive properties, and they typically always have a come down. Now, I've had coffee some in the past, and usually I feel really good for a little bit and then crash. So if we want to avoid this, then we need to take something that's a little more intelligent and a little more effective in the way that it's working with our body and our metabolism. So the best thing to do is to get on chi tonic herbs or adaptogenic herbs. So the first two herbs that come to mind to me as being the most superior would be astragalus and cordyceps. So I'm going to talk a little bit about why those are beneficial, how they work, and how they really tone up your body and help you to naturally have more energy so that you don't feel like you need to rely on stimulants all the time. Because doing a stimulant every now and again, if you really need it, not that big of a deal. But relying on it habitually, chronically, and almost to an addictive level, you're going to start to run into some problems in the medium and in the long term. So obviously you're going to need a better alternative. So astragalus is one of the best herbs for helping us to have overall more day-to-day energy through toning up the two ways in which we get our energy. The first being our lungs, our breathing capacity, our ability to extract oxygen from the air, our ability to extract chi from the air, and two, through our spleen chi and our digestive functions, which is our second source of energy, through our food and the things that we take in for calories and for nutrition, micro and macronutrients. So if we optimize both of these processes, we're naturally going to have more energy because these are the two places that we're getting energy in the first place. So on top of that, on top of toning up the lung energy, and on top of toning up the spleen chi, astragalus also just tones up all of the metabolic functions in the body in what's called the triple warmer, meaning the three areas of our body that are really in charge of distributing nutrients, building blood, moving fluid through the body, digesting our food, and really just keeping our body operating at its optimal level. Kind of like, you have your car, and if the fluids get gunked up or they get all viscous, they're not really flowing like they should, your car is going to operate at a suboptimal level. If the piping gets all just gunked up and doesn't work, you're going to have poor efficiency. If your oil hasn't been changed in 4 years and your filters are clogged and everything's just jacked up and things aren't moving and flowing like it should, then the energy the car is able to produce is going to be diminished, and the amount of energy that you have to put in to get that energy out is going to have to be always just increasing. So the logic there is that if we optimize our functions in our body, our metabolic functions that are generating our energy, we can pull more energy from the food that we take in, from the air that we breathe, and then have a cleaner, more effective fuel source burning in our body that is, leaving less waste behind, which is, obviously just going to clear out our thoughts and help us feel better naturally with no side effects, no come downs, no addictive properties, no ups and downs, none of that stuff, because it's just working with our body and intelligently modulating and making things better and more effective. So that's kind of how these chi tonics work. They work on the lungs, they work on the spleen, and they really just optimize all of these functions in our body and help us to have more energy naturally all the time. So astragalus is the first herb that comes to mind. Another herb that comes to mind is cordyceps. Now cordyceps is another really good lung and spleen and even a liver tonic that really helps us to have more and more energy. And when I say energy, I don't mean what you might be thinking as far as having a cup of coffee and then, okay, that's energy. What I'm talking about here is, if you think back when you were, probably a teenager, when you were a lot younger, and you would just wake up in the morning, not need stimulants, not need coffee, not need sugar, not need all that stuff because you just felt good, and that you could get through your day and do what you needed to do and feel fine, feel excited, but feel calm and energized at the same time. So what's interesting about these herbs is that they give us energy, but they relax us at the same time, which is something you need to experience to really understand. It's something you need to really train your body to, because so much of what's zapping our energy and what's really undermining our health is our whole addiction to running around on fight or flight all the time. So if we can learn how to be calm and relaxed and energized and be working and be active and be on our feet doing what we need to do throughout the day, but being inside calm and just relaxed, then we're going to have more energy naturally. We're going to digest our food better. We're going to be in a better mood. We're going to have clearer thoughts. We're going to have better breathing. Everything in our life is going to be optimized and taken to a higher level of functioning. And we're not going to need to rely on stimulants. We're not going to need to rely on, ridiculous amounts of food or anything else that we might be just supplementing or medicating ourselves with, because of the fact that our actual metabolic functions, our actual functioning of our nervous system is, operating at a low level. So that's why I feel like these tonic herbs, astragalus and cordyceps, are really the best alternative to relying on stimulants, and for really optimizing our health and taking our energy to higher and higher levels, and just actually helping us feel better at a true, fundamental, and substantial way, not something that's superficial and trivial and it's just going to be an up and down crash kind of a thing. So, astragalus, cordyceps, my two favorite herbs for this purpose. If you have any questions or comments, post them below, and I'll talk to you soon.